Hello, everyone, and welcome to Curated Classical, the channel for the discovery of the power and diversity of music. Today, I want to do a sort of casual video just talking about what I've been listening to lately. This will be a series on my channel, a new series. I hope to do at least one of these a week. This particular video, I don't know if this is how I'll do it in the future, but this particular video will be divided into two parts. The first part being two classical music selections from what I've been listening to, and the second video, two non-classical selections from what I've been listening to. So we've got a lot of great music, a lot of exciting music to talk about today. So if you're enjoying my content, make sure you hit the like button, smash the subscribe button, and leave a comment below if you can. Thank you so much. So the first piece we're going to talk about today is by Felix Mendelssohn, the early romantic German Jewish composer, Jewish-German, however you want to say it. We're looking at his piano trio, number 1 in D minor, Opus 49. I have kind of a little story to tell about this piano trio, actually. So when I was younger, and it was close to when I was getting into classical music, I found this trio, the CD that had this piece on it, on Amazon.com. And on Amazon, they have the sample selections you can listen to. You can listen to about a minute or a half a minute of the song to sample it. And I sampled the beginning of this trio so much. I sampled it over and over and over again. And I fell in love with the beginning, the very beginning of this trio. The melody is so yearning, just so infectious. I just fell in love with the beginning of the piece. I never bought the CD or bought the piece. I was like Michael in that Benihana episode of The Office where he's listening to that song. He's like, I don't have to buy it. I just have to taste it. That was me with this piece. So anyway, like I said, I fell in love with the beginning of the piece. And then a few years later, I listened to a live performance of the entire piece. And I expected to like it, but it just didn't live up to my expectations at the time. And that's because I had fallen so in love with the beginning of the piece that the rest of the piece just didn't hold up to my expectations as much. And that's partly due to my my youth and my lack of patience and my lack of listening skills at the time. But now I am coming back to this piece as a 31, 32-year-old man, and I got to say, with mature ears and much more experience listening to music under my belt, listening to this piece again, it is a fantastic piece of music. The first movement, the beginning, of course, I still love. The opening melody has such a romantic, yearning quality to it. The melody, da 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 da. So good. But what Mendelssohn does is he keeps the harmony and the direction of the melody. He keeps it anxious enough to where you can sense this subdued, fiery passion underneath the yearning quality of the melody. And you can sense it ready to burst at any moment, right? So you've got that. And then the second theme, the second character in this movement, it is fresh, youthful, spring-like, such a contrast with the passionate yearning of the opening theme. These two themes battle it out throughout the movement in quite a dramatic, exciting conflict. And then at the very end, that subdued, fiery passion bursts forth with the most passionate, aching, dramatic versions of both themes that of the movement so far. It's a great culmination of the drama. And the great thing about Mendelssohn is that his music sounds so effortless and so natural. The transitions, the way he keeps the momentum and the energy of the movement going, it is quite impressive. Actually, Mendelssohn was a child prodigy, about on the level of Mozart. He doesn't quite get the same respect that Mozart does for this, but he actually was extremely naturally gifted. And you can hear this in his music. There's sort of a facile effortlessness about his music, the way it just flows by and flows so naturally. If Mendelssohn was a rapper, he would have great flow. Which brings me to the second movement, which is just such a tender and beautiful melody. And the thing about this second movement is that the melody just feels so right. Every note is in the right place. And that again speaks to the naturalness and the effortless nature of Mendelssohn's composing style. The theme of this movement is so beautiful. Just the way it arches up and reaches up into this this tender, yearning climax. Just the opening melody, it's so good. Da da ya da 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 ya da 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 da. Oh, it's so beautiful. Anyway, and the third movement is the scherzo movement. It's so energetic, so light. The sparks are flying in this movement, and it's incredible, again, how Mendelssohn keeps the momentum and the energy going. It's like it's unstoppable, and that's quite hard to do in composition, to keep the momentum and energy of the music going. And not just that, but have all the instruments and all the lines of the music continue to be melodic as well, at the same time as being endlessly energetic and endlessly acrobatic. It's quite a thing to pull that off, and it's very impressive. And the last movement mirrors the first movement in terms of having fiery passion versus a youthful spring-like melody, but it's quite a bit more capricious. This trio is in the old classical style, where the drama, the main drama of the movement, is at the front end of the piece, and the back end of the piece is lighter in comparison. That was the old classical style. The new classical style that was coming into being as Mendelssohn, during Mendelssohn's time, was that the back end of the piece would get more drama, as if the narrative of the piece is building toward that finale, rather than having the main event being at the front. But anyway, that's just a bit of history of classical forms, a brief history. But yeah, it ends with an exciting movement, full of thrills, full of surprises, full of that endless energy that I keep talking about that Mendelssohn has. And you know, it's interesting. Mendelssohn is a composer that is often overlooked by many people, I think, including myself. I often overlook Mendelssohn. And the reason for that, I think, I have an idea for the reason for that, is that in the early Romantic era, so many of the great composers that we think about have some unique characteristic that sets them apart from other composers. This was the era that music started to have much more unique personalities in the composition. So Chopin had that beautifully unique harmonic style, as well as the extremely new bel canto way of playing the piano. Schumann had the eccentric, capricious style that just all over the place. It is very neurotic and very specialized. The compositional voice. Schubert was known for his emo songs. Schubert wrote a lot of songs, and he was very known for that. And he's known for what people called heavenly length. He really draws out his compositions and draws out the melody. And then Berlioz is known for his huge, bombastic, larger than life orchestrations. For that time, he was outdone by later composers, but for his time, he was extremely larger than life in the way he composed. And Mendelssohn, I think he gets overlooked because he doesn't have anything neurotic or unique in a way that really sets him apart. He has boundless energy, and he has the facile perfectionism of his composition. But at the end of the day, instead of a super unique voice in Mendelssohn, what you get is like this stereotypical average early Romantic composer, but like way better. Like Louis Spohr, but like way higher quality. That's basically Mendelssohn. And I think he gets overlooked a lot because of that. Unfairly, because his compositions are incredible, really. So the next piece I have for you is a composition by the contemporary American composer Michael Hersch. Michael Hersch is a composer of modern classical music. He is still alive and kicking, which makes talking about his music really exciting because he's a composer of our time, and I plan on including lots of composers of our time because the classical community often focuses on composers of the past to the detriment of composers that are alive and writing music of the now, of the today. And I think that's really too bad that they don't get enough focus. Because I think the classical music world, the compositional milieu of today is just as vibrant and exciting as it was in the past, and I hope to bring more attention to it on my channel. But anyway, the piece I have for you today is a piece for violin and cello by Michael Hersch. It's called Carillon-Miles to Purgatory. Now this piece, this is not a piece that you want to listen to casually. You want to set aside a time to where you can, about 40 minutes, where you can sit down and listen to this piece. Because it is an experience, okay? So with a name like Carillon-Miles to Purgatory, that's carry on as in a dead body, carry on, not carry on, just to make that clear. With a name like that, you expect something quite dark, and this delivers in the quite dark territory. To me, how I interpret this piece is a journey of lost souls that are trying to communicate, trying to find their way towards peace, towards resolution, and all the emotions and expressions that might go towards this journey. And the impressive thing about this piece to me, the incredible thing about this piece, is that with just a violin and just a cello, yes, the entire piece is quite depressing and dark, but within the framework of that depressing darkness, there is a wonderful diversity of shades of that darkness. There is resignation, there is anger, there's frustration, there's sadness, crying, weeping. All these emotions are portrayed on this journey using just the violin and cello. One of the musical motifs that I sensed while listening to this piece was a plodding motif. Sometimes this takes the form of more rocking. Sometimes it takes the form of plodding, like da 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 da. You can feel in this music, on many parts, you can feel these lost souls. You can feel the oppressiveness of their journey, like they're walking in with their legs chained or being dragged down by something, just plodding along. And many times the music has this very glassy kind of static quality to it. And in those moments, it feels almost like the souls are trying to communicate with someone outside, crying for some interaction with the world they once knew. This is an incredible amount of emotions and expressions displayed in this piece. And even though at the end of the piece, these lost souls do seem to find some sort of peace, the overall journey, listening to this entire piece, is a oppressive, harrowing, and powerful experience. And I recommend it. It's very, very cool.